What's up, y'all? My name is Courtney. If you're new to my YouTube channel, you should totally subscribe. I know that some of my old subscribers are probably like, girl, you haven't posted in years. And I'm like, I know. But recently I just haven't been into posting, and I've been going back and forth trying to figure out school, trying to figure out my new job and all that kind of stuff. But now that I'm finally settled in, I'm finally starting school next semester and all that kind of stuff, I felt like it would be a really good time to go ahead and film a YouTube video. So in today's video, I'm going to be doing my roommate horror story. And this story is so important to me because it took up a long time of my life. In general, just because of my whole friendship with this girl and how it really affected me and all that kind of stuff. It's just a crazy story. So if you all want to hear about why my roommate was crazy and did witchcraft while we were in the apartment together, then you should keep on watching this video, because honestly I'm still shocked at how everything turned out. So I'm sure you all will be too. I'm gonna start off by saying that me and this girl do not communicate anymore at all. She still tries to contact me in regards to like our bill that we still have at our old apartment. But other than that, we do not talk, we do not speak, we do not like each other's pictures on Instagram, we do not follow each other on any social media, none of that. So we are totally not friends anymore. Also, I want to say that I'm going to keep everybody's identity private, because one, I've done that with all my story times in the past, and two, because this girl is so petty that she would probably try and sue me if I included her name in the video. So I'm not going to do that. I'm going to save myself some dollars and just do like code names and stuff with everybody. So me and this girl became friends back in October of 2018. Me and this girl actually met back in 2014 in October at like a Halloween party down at where I used to go to college, but I don't go there anymore. I moved back up to Indianapolis, and that's where this girl lived. And I'm going to call her Katie because whenever I first filmed this video, that's what I called her. So I'm just gonna stick with it and call her Katie. So me and Katie were friends. We used to go down to Bloomington. We met and we just really started spending a lot of time together, and slowly but surely that ended up becoming like one of my best friends, or someone that I called my best friend. So we would hang out all the time, go to the bars, go out to eat, go to the mall, and we were just like, you know, like we're really cool, we're really vibing, we seem like we'd be really good roommates and friends. So we decided that we were going to start looking for apartments and get an apartment together. So we started looking for apartments in like early January. We didn't want to move until like April or May, but that's whenever we started looking for apartments. So it took us a while, but we finally found an apartment that was good for us. It was like a 2-bedroom, a 2.5 bathroom. It had a big loft, and it was just a really good size, and it was honestly a lot of space for us, but it turns out that it wasn't a lot of space once I continue on with the story. So we got the apartment, and we move in, or no, we don't move in, sorry. We get approved for the apartment, and the night before we're supposed to move in, like move all of our stuff in and sign like the final paperwork and verify like our lights and all that kind of stuff you have to do whenever you first get an apartment, she texted me at like 3 a.m. and she was like, hey, I just wanted to text you because like I can't go to sleep because I'm so worried about the apartment. We're having so much bad communication problems, and I just don't know, and I'm scared, and I don't think it's gonna work out, and yeah, blah 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 blah. It's too late, sweetie. Like, we're going to get the apartment in a few hours. Like, we were going to sign the paperwork and stuff at like 9:30 in the morning, and you're texting me at 3 a.m. saying you don't know if you want to move in. Keep in mind, like, me and her were still friends, so like I tried to understand. However, we had already paid like $400-$500 for the apartment. just for like the deposit and like the application fee and all that kind of stuff. So I think that she was kind of cool with being out of that money that we spent, because I guess in the long run she was like, well, we're gonna be spending way more if like we turn out not being good to live together, which I guess she ended up being right. But I was like, I was ready to move out my mom's house. I thought me and her were really good friends, so I didn't see what the problem really was. So I was like, okay, but like we've already signed all this stuff and we're supposed to be moving in today. Like I've rented a U-Haul already. I've paid this stuff already. I've already packed up my stuff already. Like time is money and we've wasted a lot of time. So long story short, we end up going to the apartments and signing the paperwork and getting the keys. So she told me that she wasn't going to be moving in until like her dad was prepared to like help her move into the apartment, which wasn't going to be until like Sunday, and this was on a Tuesday. Well, I moved in that day because I had my stuff. I was ready to go. So I moved my stuff in. Everything was cool. I was there by myself, but I would, just chill and talk on the phone and whatever. So I wasn't really worried about it. Sorry if I'm like moving around a lot, but I'm sitting on the floor and like I'm gonna take this couch pillow because I'm sitting on the floor and it hurts. All right, so anyway, so we move into the apartment, or I move in, and keep in mind it's April and we live in Indiana, so the weather really fluctuates. Some days it's gonna be really warm, sunny, and sometimes even hot out, and the next day it could literally be at nighttime like 30s, in the 30s. Well, this just happened to be one of those time periods. So I like had heat on because I was cold and it's still cold outside, and she's like, why do you have the heat on? Well, okay, she texts me and she's like, hey, like clearly the heat has been an issue. You always have the heat on, and I'm not gonna be willing to pay your excess of bills just because you want to have the heat on. So I can bring over a personal, like one of those little space heaters, but I don't want you having on the heat. And I'm like what? Like she didn't even ask. She just kind of told me like she's gonna get a space heater and give it to me because she's not gonna have on the heat throughout the apartment. I already was not okay with that because I feel like there are ways that you talk to people, ways that you speak to people, and to me that's not the way that you talk to somebody. So I was like, it was literally 33 degrees last night. Like space heaters use a lot of electricity too, and I've never used a space heater before. I've always had heat in my house. My mom never said she wasn't going to turn on the heat, so I really wasn't okay with that. I'm like, it's cold outside. She's like, it's not even cold out, like it's warm. And I'm like, okay, well, it was last night, it was cold. And even whenever she said it was warm, it's still like 50s. That's not that warm. So, and if an apartment is 50 degrees inside, it's gonna be cold. So it wasn't warm at all. But anyway, so she's like, if you're cold, then you can just put on blankets or put on more clothes. Like I swear on my life that she was trying to tell me I can put on extra layers. I can use blankets if I'm cold because she's not about to have the heat on. She thought she was going to run the scene from the motherfucking jump. Like, period. She thought she was about to have shit on lock. So that's where our issues kind of started regarding AC and heat. Air conditioning and heat, having it on. So time goes by, and my roommate Katie felt a certain type of way about my ex-boyfriend. Well, me and my ex-boyfriend had broken up really suddenly, no closure, no discussions, nothing. We just stopped talking and we just knew that we were done at that point. Well, Katie didn't like my ex, and we agreed that I would not bring over my ex to the apartment unless she was not there. And if she was there, she didn't want him there or me inviting him over. So I was like, cool, understandable, like that's not a big deal because we're not even together. Well, one day while she was away at work or school or wherever, I didn't know her schedule because, like I said, we weren't friends. Like, as soon as she sent me that text message the night before we moved in, nothing was the same. We never hung out again, never, like, held real conversations like that again. Sorry if it's the wind's being loud for some reason, but it's actually a sprinkler, but I have my door open, so whatever. So anyway, so one day I had my ex over while Katie was gone, and she came back into the apartment, and we were sitting down talking, and we turn around and look at the door, and she's walking in, and she just looks at my ex, and she's just like, "You need to leave." And I'm just like, what? And so my ex is like, "Oh, what's up, Katie? Like, how's it going? Like, whatever." And she's like, "Don't talk to me. You need to leave." Me and Courtney had a whole discussion that you weren't going to be here. And I said, well, one, like, you said he couldn't be here when you were here and you weren't here. And just because you walk in the door doesn't mean everybody needs to drop what they're doing and follow your direction. Like, you're not, this is not your apartment and I just moved in. You and I are on the lease together, and if I want to have guests over, I can have guests over. Now, keep in mind at this point, she had invited a girl, we're gonna name her Alyssa. She invited a girl named Alyssa to come live with us, and she asked me, like, is it cool if she comes lives with us? And I was like, cool, like, you know, I don't really care because it's gonna be less rent. I went to middle school with the girl and she was a cool person. Me and her got along fine the entire time, and I wasn't really worried about it. I was like, cool, that's a good idea. So she had moved in at that point. So my roommate was so mad that my ex didn't leave on her demand, because I was like, well, like, whenever we finish talking, which we're finishing up here, he'll leave. You could just, like, you can go to your room, we can go to my room, shut the door, like, whatever. No, she wasn't okay with that. So she decides she's gonna call the police. So she calls 911, calls them, says there's an intruder in her home. He's in here when she didn't want him in here, and somebody needs to come to get him out. Are you fucking serious? Like, you just called the police, like, that's dealing with people dying, getting shot, emergencies, shit like that, so that you can say an intruder's in your home that your roommate that pays the rent that's on the lease invited over. That makes no sense. How are the cops gonna come and tell him to leave when he's my guest and I live here too? I'm not a guest of you. It's so stupid. I told him, like, whatever, we'll talk later, just leave, because, like, clearly she's tripping. So the cops come and they're like, so what's going on? And she's just like, oh, like, she had somebody over that I said I didn't want here, and yeah. And they're like, okay, where is he? And I'm like, well, he's gone now. Like, it just made her look stupid every time she called the police. I'm gonna get to that. So time goes by. Throughout the time, she was always complaining, you know, telling me and Ella, like, you all need to wash your dishes, you all need to clean up behind yourselves, you all need to wipe off the counters, you all need to turn out the lights, you all need to stop turning on the heat or the air, you all need to stop opening the windows when the air is on, you all need, I mean, every single day. Like, if I did not upgrade my phone and I still had my old phone and didn't sell it, I would show every single text that she sent. It would fill up the screen and more of the text that she would send all the time. So time goes on. Everybody would be hanging out together in the house. She would have her cousins over, Ella would have friends over, they would all hang out. I was the only one who didn't hang out with anybody because I wasn't cool with Larissa, so I wasn't going to be in the mix with her at all. So one day Ella's like, oh, sorry, if I say somebody's name, which I meant Alyssa, I know that this person doesn't care if I say their name, but I didn't ask them. So I might have said people's names a lot. I don't know. So Alyssa was like, hey, me, Katie, and Katie's cousin, and, like, one of her friends are gonna be drinking tonight in the apartment and playing games and stuff and getting pizza. You should hang out with us. And I'm just like, Oh gosh. Okay. So we hang out, we're cool. I'm not really like, me and Katie are like kind of interacting because, like I said, we were like best friends. So, like, originally. So we were kind of talking, and then all of a sudden she just is like, I'm so sorry for like how I treated you. Like, I shouldn't have never acted like that. And I was just wondering if you would want to be friends again. So, of course, I'm like, yeah, like, let's be friends again. So we become friends again. We start hanging out again. The next day was 4th of July. We like hung out with everybody. And it was just back to how it used to be pretty much. I mean, nothing was ever going to be the same as the original, but it was good. Like, we hung out and shit. So then it comes time that she decides she's going to get married. And it took me off guard because she told me she was getting married to someone who she had first introduced me to as one of her family members. But apparently, since there are circumstances where it's like, oh, well, technically that's not my family member, they decided they were gonna get married, which was strange to me because that family member had sex with some of Katie's friends and also tried to get with me. So to me, that's weird. But again, I'm not even gonna judge or get on that because that's her business at the end of the day. I don't have anything to do with that. So I'm like, oh my God, like, congratulations. And I went to Alyssa and I'm like, isn't that like her family member? And she's like, oh, like, not really. She just said that. And I'm like, okay. So basically, I'm like, oh, congratulations. She's like, of course, come to the wedding. And I'm like, yeah, of course, duh, like, I'm gonna come. So time goes by and I'm not asked to be like a bridesmaid. I'm not asked to be in the wedding, nothing like that. But one of her bridesmaids, because again, none of her friendships were truly stable, honestly. So one of her bridesmaids, she got into it with, and she's like, you can't come anymore. And then another one of her bridesmaids, she's like, oh no, like, she's broke, she can't afford anything, like, she can't even get here, like, she can't afford to buy her dress. So I just can't even invite her. Like, I'm just not even gonna invite her. Courtney, will you be one of my bridesmaids? And I'm like, first of all, like, that's kind of rude because you're just like making me like a fill-in, like I'm a second choice, and I don't like feeling like I'm a second choice. But I'm like, yeah, like, I'll be in the wedding. So she's like, okay, well, you need to go buy a bridesmaid's dress. Now, normally that's not how weddings work. Normally, if you have bridesmaids, you buy their dresses and pay for them to get their makeup done, whatever. But I guess this was just like a weird whatever wedding, so we had to buy our own dress. Well, she bought my dress and then I like reimbursed her for it. So speed up to the wedding day, and she's getting ready. Like, I have to, she's like, oh my gosh, go underneath my bed, get my cake topper, get this, get that. So I had started talking to a guy that one of my roommates, Alyssa, was cool with, and me and him were really becoming serious. And kind of like after the wedding, or I asked him if he would want to come to the wedding with me. So we go to the wedding, and she's like, oh, stop and get me a sewing kit. So I have to go drive in my bridesmaid's dress and go to the store and get her a sewing kit. And then I get there and she doesn't need it. And it's just like, girl, I just spent $7 on this sewing kit, and like, you didn't need it. Like, and it's like, it's hard whenever you have on a super long dress and like everybody's staring at you, and I'm just like, I don't want to be people staring at me. But anyway, I get her the sewing kit, and we end up going to the wedding. So we get to the venue, and of course they're still kind of like working us, whatever. And then we do the wedding. Everything's great. We're gonna call her fiance Bob. So, okay, we're gonna call him Steve. So Steve, he decides that, I guess he wants to officially move in to the apartment, which he already was kind of like basically living there, but he was like officially gonna move in, since he was living with like an ex-girlfriend and he needed to move out of his place anyway. So he had like pretty much just got out of a relationship and was getting married. Again, just craziness. So I'm like, I mean, I didn't really have a choice. So he moves in, and then the guy I'm talking to starts staying there regularly, and he's like paying rent and stuff as she requested him to. She wanted him to start paying rent, so he started paying rent. So now we're splitting rent 4 ways because Alyssa had moved out. Mainly, I believe she said it was because she was moving, which I think so too. But I also think that Katie was a burden on her and her feelings and her well-being, because she used to talk to her like trash, like call her like dumb and stupid, and she would talk about her behind her back, as she did all of her friends. She would talk about me behind my back, Alyssa behind her back, one of our other friends behind her back. Like, she talked about everybody behind her back, and she felt like she was better than everyone, but her excuse was that she was a Capricorn and that's just how she was and she couldn't help it, and oh well, and you just had to deal with it because that's just how she was born and that's how she talks to people. Well, first of all, you got the wrong motherfucking one, and second of all, that's not an excuse to just like trash on people and talk to people however you want to talk to them because you're a Capricorn. No. He moves in, and as soon as everybody's living there, like as soon as my boyfriend now is living there, she starts to have a problem with everything. Me and him don't clean up. He doesn't do this, he doesn't do that, whatever. Now, we had requested, again, listen to how I'm saying, we had requested if we could move in to the loft since Alyssa was gone and she lived up there, and him and I needed more space than just my tiny bedroom because she had the master bedroom. They said no, that Steve had already claimed that as his area and that we could not move up there. I said that wasn't fair because why does Steve get a choice in the apartment above me when I'm on the lease and moved in before anybody technically, and Steve just popped in and now he has ownership over things in the apartment. So they're like, no, that's everybody's space. Like, we're going to set that up like a chill room, blah, blah, blah. So there was a couch down in the living room, but they moved that couch upstairs so that they could just kind of like claim that as theirs because it was empty. And I told them at the end of the day, if I want to move my stuff up there, I can, and nobody can stop me. Y'all can't touch my stuff and y'all aren't going to move my stuff. So if I want to go up there and move, technically I can. Well, they moved the couch up there so that they could claim that as their own. Whatever. So it ends up being that there's no couch now downstairs in the living room where people actually sat. So Katie wanted to get another couch, and she asked if I'd be willing to go in on the couch with her, like split it. And I'm like, sure, like that's cool because I'm cool with having a couch too. Just a FYI, if you're moving in with somebody, never split things like couches, TVs, all that kind of stuff half and half, because whenever it's time to move out, who's to say who's going to keep what stuff? So it's better if you just decide beforehand, okay, you bring a couch, I'll bring a TV, whatever. Because I did actually bring a TV for the living room, but it ended up going in my bedroom because of all that stuff that happened at the beginning. And by the way, I didn't actually move my TV out the living room. She picked up my TV and put it into my room without even asking me or telling me. That's another thing, touching people's stuff. There's no couch, so I say, cool, we can go in together. She gets the couch, and the day she buys the couch, sets it all up, whatever, she's like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that Steve actually wants us to keep the couch whenever we move. So I was just letting you know that it's not like up for debate like whose it is because we're gonna take it. Okay, so on that note, why should I pay you money for this couch that I'm definitely not gonna be able to keep? So, you know, she's like, okay, so like when do you want to give me the money? And I'm like, oh, like I don't know, I'll let you know. So a few weeks go by and she's like, hey, maybe like 3 weeks, and she's like, hey, I was wondering when you were gonna send me the money for the couch. And I'm like, I actually don't really think it's fair I should be paying you for the couch, considering that you already claimed and said that that's yours. So why would I pay you for half? She was upset about that, but she's like, okay, that's fine. Well, just tell your boyfriend that he needs to stop sitting on it, and you need to stop sitting on it too. Really? Like, you and I are supposed to be cool and are supposed to be friends, but like, I can't sit on a couch. And she's like, no, like, you can sit on the floor, like, but you can't sit on my couch because you're not paying for it, and you need to make sure your cat doesn't get on it either. I was like fucking pissed, because at this point I'm just like, you are such a bitch and you are so fucking miserable. Like, you need to reevaluate your life and try and actually be a good fucking person and stop being rude to everybody. But that's what she wanted to do, was always be rude 24/7. Whatever. I told him stop sitting on their couch. They don't want us sitting on it. I never went into the living room or sat on the couch anyway, because me and my boyfriend were always together. We didn't have guests over, so we could be in my room. She always had guests over to where she wanted to entertain. So that was her couch, period, point blank. And I was cool with that. So stuff keeps going on and on. She tells us her mom is gonna start staying there because she's having problems at her place and she can't stay there and whatever. So she starts actually sleeping upstairs in the loft, which is crazy to me because I thought that was everyone's shared space, but now it's your mom's. Okay. That's another thing that just lets you know that she didn't care anything about everybody sharing space. She just didn't want it to be mine or something I could call my own. So her mom started sleeping up there. Well, one night, me and my boyfriend were about to cook, and we had an air fryer. And right now we have a small one, like that big, but before we had like a bigger one, like probably like this wide and this tall. If you don't know what an air fryer is, it's sort of like a regular fryer, but it's more compact because it just fries with air. It doesn't use oil. So that was getting in her way on the counter. She had already removed my toaster from the counter and my Keurig from the counter. And also at the beginning, she had labeled all cabinets that she wanted to be hers with her name, all shelves in the fridge with her name, and nobody else could use those shelves or cabinets. Petty as hell. She removes the air fryer from the counter, I guess, and went and put it in the shed outside. Every single apartment building basically has a shed that's right outside the balcony or the patio, whether you're upstairs or downstairs. It's outdoor, like, little space. Well, she went and put my appliances, my Keurig and my air fryer, or my boyfriend's air fryer, inside that outdoor storage. Who would even think that it would be put in there since nothing else was put in there? So we're looking all over for the air fryer. It's like 9:30 at night, and her mom is upstairs asleep. Who knew? Because she didn't sleep there every single night, only on occasion. So we didn't know she was up there. Even if she was, who gives a fuck? So we're looking through cabinets for our stuff, and I text her. I'm like, hey, have you seen my air fryer? I don't get a response. Well, I go into my room to, I think, like, do something. I don't know. And her mom comes downstairs and tells my boyfriend to keep it down and to be quiet because she's trying to sleep. First of all, this is not your apartment, so we don't have to listen to you for you to even come down and ask us to be quiet. So my boyfriend was just like, okay. So he's like, yeah, Katie's mom just came downstairs and told us to be quiet. And I'm just like, for what? Like, you were out here by yourself. That doesn't even make sense. So her mom, after she told him that, goes and knocks on Katie's door and goes inside. Well, a few minutes later, Katie comes out and says, hey, can you all keep it down? Because my mom's, like, actually upstairs trying to sleep. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's fine. Well, she came downstairs and told us to be quiet, but my boyfriend was out here just looking for something. He wasn't even on the phone or anything. And we don't know where the air fryer is. And she's like, okay, well, if you wanted to know where the air fryer was, you could have just knocked on my door and asked. I'm like, I actually texted you and you didn't answer. And she's like, well, that's because I was asleep. But if you wanted to know, all you had to do was knock. I was like, first of all, I shouldn't have to come and ask you where my stuff is. I left my stuff on this counter and you touched it and moved it. Where is it? Like, why am I even having to ask? And she's like, I put it out in the shed because it was in the way on the counter. Don't touch my stuff, bitch, period. Don't touch my stuff. There's no fucking question. That shit makes me mad to this day because you shouldn't be touching my stuff anyway. I shouldn't have to come ask you where my shit is. So that's what I'm saying to her, and we're going back and forth, and I get mad easily. You want to talk about signs? I'm a Scorpio, and I will pop off really quick, and I've been working on that, and I've been working on that for a while, and she knew that, so she knew little things that were going to tick me off. So then my boyfriend steps in, and he's like, and her mom's like standing back kind of to the side, and then my boyfriend is like she's like, it's dirty, it's not even clean, like there's a bunch of oil and stuff in it. And my boyfriend's like, it doesn't even use oil. First of all, that's how we know you're lying. Like, it's just an air fryer. And she's like, no, that is dirty. There was stuff on it, blah, blah. And he like hands her the pamphlet and he's like, here. And she's standing like on that side of the bar right here. And my boyfriend's standing on the other side of the bar. So he tosses it across the area and she grabs it and she's like, do not throw stuff at me. And I'm just like, girl, you need to relax. Like, you are really hyped up. Like, you need to chill. And her mom, and I'm like, you know, and her mom's talking in Spanish back there. And I'm like, girl, like, if you want to bring moms, we can bring moms, because my mom will come here and have something to say, because my mom tried to like mediate her and I so we would get along and like still be friends and stuff. I'm like, if you want to bring moms, like, I can bring my mom. That's no problem. And her mom's like, okay, well then bring her here then if you're going to bring her. And I'm like, first of all, don't say nothing about my mom, period. Like, don't say anything about my mom at all. Because she was trying to be smart, and it sounded like she had called my mom out her name, and I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that at all. And then she's like, get out my mom's face, blah, blah. And I'm like, bitch, I'm going to be in her face if I want to, and I'm going to be in your face too. Because I'm about tired of you. Period, point blank. You think you run this apartment? So then she starts going off, trying to start talking about my finances. I'm like, bitch, I work 2 jobs. 2. And she's like, yeah, because you have to, da 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 da. I don't give a fuck if I have to or if I want to for extra money. I still work 2 jobs. I work way more than you. You work at your parents' broke down, beat up, old, trashy flower shop. Who cares? Who cares? So anyway, like, you are so reliant on your parents, and everybody's like, oh, it's cool. Who cares? Like, people that, what I'm trying to say is, people that allow their parents to help them out, there's nothing wrong with that. My mom helps me out too. But don't sit there and come for people who try to support themselves and try to do things on their own when you are getting handouts from your parents, and try and compare our situations, because they don't compare at all. So we get into this argument, and I went over to the fridge and was like, you need to stop putting my stuff that's down here. I had a whole milk jug that goes on the bottom of the fridge because that's where it's big and enough space. He's like, no, it doesn't go there. That's Steve's shelf. And I'm like, girl, okay, well then where's my boyfriend's shelf? Oh, he doesn't get one. He's not on the lease. I said, okay, well neither is Steve. Period. So we're going back and forth, and my boyfriend took like the jug of juice that I had that was in the fridge, because she had tried to go and put it back on the shelf she wanted it on. So he took it and threw it out the fridge, and then she's like, do not throw stuff at me. And she went and called 911. Of course, like she always does, calling the cops. She sits there and calls the cops 24/7, no lie for anything. She will call the cops because she think that shit is cute. To like be like, oh, I'll call the cops, I'll press charges, blah, blah. Okay, bitch. And they think you look stupid as hell. So she does. Cops eventually come, and they're like, okay, what's going on again? And she's like, he threw something at me, this jug of juice, and she's not sharing the fridge, blah blah. And I'm like, she's literally called you guys because we're not able to share the fridge, and she took some stuff off the counter, so she went and called the cops because we're arguing. They're like, ma'am, do you have any cuts or bruises or scars? She's like, no, but they're like, okay, well then you shouldn't be calling the cops. You both are on the lease, regardless of who's on the lease. After people have been in the apartment for a few days or for a certain amount of days, they gain residency. So just stop. Just stop at this point. And I'm like, thank you. So then they leave. This is when I noticed that, I know it a few days before, but she had set up a witchcraft table next to my door in the apartment. It had like a shell with like a half-burned Swisher on it and some oranges and a shot poured of rum and a candle. And I'm like, girl, do you not think that I don't know what that is? Because I already had known she had done a spell on somebody. So she comes and sets that up to try and do spells on me. Hell no, sweetie. Like, I don't deal with that shit. I'm a child of God, and I don't deal with all that witchcraft stuff. So no, I couldn't even deal with that, because who knows what kind of spirits she got in the house or in the apartment. So she wants to go sign to get her name off the lease. That would be a very easy route for her. She wanted to do that a couple days before rent was due. I wasn't going to have it. No, you're not getting signed off the lease just because you want to. So I didn't want to sign myself off the lease. I'm like, I'm breaking the lease. We broke the lease. She didn't want to, but we broke it. She ended up moving everything out. She moved out, but she had kept her door locked, which I didn't like, because who knows what's in there. She could still have a witchcraft table in there. So eventually we opened the bedroom door and was like, okay, there was nothing in there, but why you have it locked? That's just weird. So there was nothing in there, thankfully. And at the end of the day, we ended up moving out. She had called me right before I moved out the other apartment and said, hey, what do you want to do about the payment for the apartment? I don't think they really did us right, and if you don't want to pay whatever's remaining, I'm not going to pay it either, because I'm a homeowner now and I don't care about my credit. And I'm like, that's stupid. Like, even if you own a home, you should still care about your credit. Like, you're only 23 years old. It's not like you own a home and you're 60 or 50. Like, you still have a long way to go if God allows you to have a long way to go. So why would you want to mess up your credit? She's like, I don't care about my credit, whatever. But I'm like, okay, well, I'm still gonna pay it. I move into my new apartment in February. She texts me 2 weeks or a week after I move in, like, hey, when are you planning on paying this bill? It's starting to affect my credit, da 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 da. And I'm like, I thought you didn't care about your credit. You said you owned a home. Like, what are you talking about? No, I don't care. It's affecting my credit. I never said I wanted that to happen, blah, blah, blah. You are bipolar. I don't even think that she knew or remembered things that she would say. Like, that, to me, that's a mental condition, and you need to get help. Just like, girl, bye, like, later. And I blocked her, and I never talked to her anymore. And to this day, she'll still say things on Twitter to tweet about me. Like, it is crazy, like, how she used to do. She used to tweet about our situation on Twitter all the time. One time she said my name and was like, someone tell Courtney Carpenter to stop being dirty as beep and da 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 da. And I'm just like, girl, if you got a real problem, we live right next to each other. Like, our doors are right there. You can come knock on my door and say what you have to say, but she could never do that. She always had to tweet. But if you see this, Katie, just know I really don't give a fuck about you. I don't care about how anything's affecting your credit. Do you think that matters to me? Definitely not. I do not care about your little situation. I do not care the tweets that you tweet. At the end of the day, I'm a tweet about the situation and make videos if I want to, and you can do what you want to. I just took it another step up. So at the end of the day, I'm so glad that situation's over. That was atrocious. That was the most horrible time. I'm so glad I'm done. She was bossy, and a lot of people I associate with are Capricorns, and none of them are as bad as she was. So I'm so glad that I can still, like, communicate with Alyssa, and me and her can be cool, and that our friendship is not affected. and I'm so glad to be away from Katie. And I honestly do wish her all the best, because she needs prayers and she needs to be prayed for and blessed, because her situation is not the ideal situation. She just thinks she is so amazing and like she has the best life, or she acts like it. And like Jordan Wood said, I don't want your situation. And I really don't. Like, I do not want your situation. I don't want to trade. Like, I'm good. I'm good for real. Like, I don't want your situation. So anyway, that's my roommate horror story about my roommate who started doing witchcraft and I believe was trying to maybe put spells on me. I don't even know, but I know she was. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'm so sorry that I have not been putting out content like I have been wanting to, but like I said, now that I'm starting school in the fall and I have more of a set schedule and a nice schedule, and I know kind of like what's gonna be going on, I know I'm gonna have time to film more. I started a blog called The Not So Perfect College Girl that I'll link down in the description box below if you all want to check it out. But once I start school, I'm gonna be giving college advice, such as like meal prepping, studying advice, how to look for scholarships, how to survive in school without being in sororities or fraternities, and all that kind of stuff. I'm also going to be doing like vlogs and fashion videos, and I'm going to stay away from makeup because I do it okay on myself, but I don't have ideas. And yeah, I'm just gonna try the best I can to put out content. I hope that you all will comment down below. Let me know if you had any crazy roommate stories, or if you like made a video, then just like tag me in it or something like that, so that I can go watch your videos, because I love these type of videos. And also comment down below and let me know what you'd like to see me film coming up, because I am going to be filming quite a bit more often. I'm probably going to put out videos like once a week, maybe between Monday and Wednesday. One of those days I'll have to decide, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. But anyway, alrighty, thank you all so much for watching this video. Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe and push the bell icon so you can get notifications every single time I post. Also, make sure to share this video so that other people can see that you definitely should never ruin or move in with your best friend. You don't want to ruin your all's friendship, because if her and I had not moved in together, we would still be friends to this day. And it's always nice to have a friend that you can rely on. So, but also I guess it's nice to see people's true colors. So yeah, don't forget to just be yourself, and don't let people run all over you, because that is just a horrible feeling, and you want to be able to do you and feel like a good person at the end of the day. Also, if you can try to not blow up like the many times that I did, then don't do that, because it really doesn't help anybody. It helps more if you'll just be calm, and it really hurts the other person more if you're calm than if you get all upset like what they want you to do. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll be seeing you all soon. All right, bye.